Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. We're coming to you live from CES in Las Vegas, Nevada, and joining me for this segment, we have Jascha Kaykas-Wolff. He's the president of Lytics. We're going to discuss 3 trends impacting the global advertising market in 2023. Jascha, it's great to have you with us. Welcome to Trade Talks.
Thanks for having me.
Now, this is interesting because digital ad spend's a super hot topic. What are your expectations for 2023?
Well, I think we've got a lot of challenges ahead of us this upcoming year, but I think generally speaking, we're going to see an entrenchment in the way that most businesses are looking at how they're going to spend their money. It's going to be focused a lot on how you generate ROI, but a lot more intensely focused on generating ROI this upcoming year. But there's some big changes in the way that businesses actually have to mechanize the infrastructure of the business in order to be able to do that. So I see some pretty significant changes in the way that's going to happen this upcoming year.
And let's talk about recession, right? We have to. How's that going to impact spend?
Well, first and foremost, intent-based spending is one of the big trends that we should all expect to see this upcoming year. When I say intent-based spending, over the course of the last few recessions, we've seen a change in the way that we spend our money. We're going to move back into spending on intent-based spending, which is spending on search terms, and then spending very specifically on terms that are going to be related to the products that we sell. There's a big change in the way that we're spending dollars that we saw this last year. There's like a $570 billion ad spend in 2020 roughly, or 2022 roughly. Of that, we saw a pretty significant shift for the first time, I think, in recorded history, where less than 50% of the dollars were spent on Meta and Google for the first time ever. The big entrant this last year was a change very specifically in retail ad networks. So you saw Amazon and Walmart and others. We're going to see that trend continue to happen over the course of this year, and what we will see in intent-based spending is an increase in those areas as well. So if you're a CPG brand, if you sell retail-based products, you're going to spend not just in search-based, intent-based spending, but you're also going to be spending more and more in areas where your products exist, and that's going to be in that world. That's where we're going to see benefits in spending over the course of 23.
And the other trend that you noticed too, that they're retreating to safer buys.
Yes. That really is about search spending, it's about intent-based spending, but there's a way that you're going to have to set yourself as a business up to be able to do that really well. That's all going to be about making sure that you have your data ship in order as a business. So we've been talking about, if you've been in marketing around digital technologies for the last 20 years, making sure that you have data in your business in order. There's still a really core asset that we have in every organization that we just don't utilize, and that's first-party data. It's data that's been consented, given to us by our prospects and by our users. So you go in, you click accept on a cookie, on a banner that you see on your site, and maybe you give over an email address. That data, that first-party data, is an area that we as businesses really haven't tapped into, and this year is going to be the year that we're going to see a real breakout in being able to be more focused on intent-based buying, real protected search buying, by using first-party data. So businesses are going to be focused on 3 things really specifically, and I'll get through this really quickly, but one, they're going to be collecting more and more first-party data. They're going to be organizing it into profiles so they know who you are, Jill, they know who I am. And the last place is they're going to be federating that data across their business so that they can create lists of the people that they know so that they can organize their buys into all the walled gardens that exist all over the ad networks that we buy into today. So first-party seed lists pushed into Google, pushed into Meta, pushed into Snap, pushed into Walmart, all of the places that they can be smarter about driving better ROI in their ad buys.
It's so interesting. People who are in the marketing and ad business, such as yourself, one other big trend that they're talking about, how everything's so consumer driven now. It's no longer products telling you what you need to have, but consumers telling brands what they think that they should be supplying to them. So it's so interesting. Do you think that consumers are more loyal to the brand or to the product?
I think consumers are loyal to the product, and that's super, super important for every brand to understand. So the way that a brand can start to understand that is, again, getting back to this idea of being a business that understands your data really well, is not just to be thinking about first-party data, organizing how your customer data is kind of built into your business, really to be an asset for you, but to understand the content that exists around your business and how your customers interact with it. Because that content that your customers are interacting with is really the gold that you can mine to help you understand the products that they're interacting with. Not necessarily your brand. Your brand is that kind of glow around the top of it. But first-party data gives you the insights that you can start to understand how your customers are interacting with your products, which is really what you need to understand to be able to drive product adoption and product sales, especially in a recessionary period.
It sounds like brands are moving away from spending on social media platforms and going to more of those safer spots, like you said, like whether it's Twitter or TikTok, of course, with the regulatory challenges that are faced there. It seems as if the ads have, I've noticed personally, the ads look very different on Twitter than they have in the past.
Well, Twitter's, I think, a wholly different story right
Right.
now. It's super complicated to be able to buy on Twitter. Who knows what we'll see kind of with the machinations that are happening inside of the business. But I will say that what we should all expect is that if you want to be effective as a business buying on Meta, buying on Snap, buying on Twitter in the future, what you're going to need to do is understand how to utilize first-party data to be effective buying there. The old kind of tried and true methods of buying using third-party data, targeting data of old, that just isn't effective anymore. And if you believe that you're going to be effective using those platforms where people are, and they're not going to go away in 23, like you're going to need to be more effective in buying ads on those platforms. The only way to do that, or the best way to do that, is going to be using first-party data to be able to do that.
So tell me about Lytics. Where do you fit in the ecosystem? What solutions are you providing?
We're a customer data platform. We're a next-gen customer data platform. We do three things for businesses. We help them collect first-party data, we organize it into profiles, we give insights about what those customers are doing and with you, with your products, with your content, and then we help move that information out into the places that you take action with. How you buy ads better, smartly, across different ad platforms, how you understand if customers are going to churn and send them emails. We help businesses kind of compete with the largest businesses in the world by understanding who their customers are better. That's really the space that we fit in. We sell to some of the largest brands, the most sophisticated brands in the world, from the Mondelez's and Crafts and Clorox of the world, down to some of the most sophisticated and smartest mid-sized businesses in the world. But we're really here to help businesses understand who their customers are and effectively serve them in a more meaningful way.
All right, Jascha, appreciate the insight. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks, and thanks for joining me at CES. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.